look, Travis is a freak. We'll see what happens.
And then finally, if I said Shedeur Sanders is going to be QB1 before November, is that ridiculous?
That's not ridiculous as long as, again, the opportunities, he earns the opportunities to get to log more play time with the ones so people can reasonably project that he would be someone who is worthy of being the starting quarterback. If he doesn't ever get those opportunities, then who knows what's going to happen here. This is on Shedeur and it's on Kevin Stefanski as well to go ahead and make sure that this all works together. And look, I'll tell you what though, after that beginning of the season, hey man, they may say, hey look, just put him out there because we've got just as good a shot with him as anyone else.
Perhaps. You're looking at the most difficult strength of schedule in the league to start the year. By the way, games 7, 8, and 9 are all against the AFC East, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Jets, which might be a little easier stretch. As for Shedeur, this is what he said yesterday about his approach to minicamp.
This is a mindset, this is an adjustment. You got to go and understand the situation that you're in and be able to approach that and get the best out of it. You could view things as you're not getting reps in a negative way, or you could view it as, okay, when it's my time to get out there? So there's no excuses, because when you get out there, nobody cares how many reps you got. Whenever you get in the game, nobody cares if you took a snap before. You know, like everybody cares about production. So that's the main thing. When you get out there, you got to be able to produce.
Okay. So let's do this, Mike T. I'm putting it in Waze or Google Maps. You can plan a drive. So take me through the route. Shedeur Sanders, from where he is to being the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. What are the directions?
We're parallel tracking, so you should have Waze and Maps up at the
either one. I got them both.
Okay. Stack one good day on top of the next, and then get in preseason games, play really well, and then after those first 4 games, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, what I'm thinking about is we got to win games today, but we got to develop for tomorrow. This is a guy that legitimately could be a frontline starting quarterback by October 1st, get through the really difficult schedule we're looking at, and then let him go. But he has to earn the trust and credibility of his teammates. They can't just indiscriminately throw him out there because he's Shedeur Sanders. I think he'll earn it because he has enough ability, and I would do that by October 1st, Greeny.
October 1st, but if we look at history, over the last 40 years, the only quarterback drafted in the 4th round or later who wound up starting his team's opener was Dak Prescott in Dallas in 2016. So every quarterback who's ever been picked in the 4th round or later has been unable to win his team's starting quarterback job on opening day. And the overwhelming chances are that Dylan Gabriel, the Browns' 4th round pick, and Shedeur Sanders, the Browns' 5th round pick, will not be starting on opening day, and it will be either Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett. That the rookies will need some sort of break, the team losing games, an injury to a veteran, before they somehow get an opportunity. And it's important to note that the Browns are set up that if it doesn't go well this year, they have their 1st round draft pick, and they have the Jacksonville Jaguars 1st round draft pick. In a quarterback-rich draft in 2026, the Browns already have 2 ones.
Look, the Browns are easy to kick around. We all do it all the time, Lewis. But I think specifically with regards to the quarterback situation, it's a pretty good little setup. You got a couple of veterans. Either one of them might work out, be your bridge quarterback. You got 2 young guys that have some upside. Let's see if one of them winds up winning the job. And if not, as Shefty and Mike T have pointed out, you got the ammunition in next year's draft. It's not a bad little setup for the Browns right now, short-term and long at quarterback.
Yeah, they've covered all their bases. That's for sure. I mean, they have options. I think the thing, though, I want to circle it back to is when we're talking about Shedeur and whether or not he has a real chance to go ahead and be, the starting quarterback. I think we need to really understand just how hard it is what he's trying to do. Okay, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, those guys are probably getting the lion's share of the reps right now. And just think about how uneven offenses look in the beginning of seasons with the quarterbacks who've gotten the majority of the reps, who've gotten 60-70% of the reps with the ones, with the guys who they're going to play with. And we're talking about a 5th round, and I don't want to use 5th rounder. We're talking about a rookie quarterback who's spending a lot of time standing over there on the sideline, taking what we all call mental reps. And then when he goes out there, in order for him to earn more reps, he has to execute the same way that the veterans who are getting the majority of the reps execute in order for him to earn more reps. It really is a hell of a thing that he's trying to get done. And if he does, wind up starting at some point this season, given the lack of reps that he's going to be getting right now, it's going to be a Herculean feat. And one that we won't be able to spend enough time talking about just how big of a deal that really is.
10 seconds.
Yeah, agree. This is Bill Parcells' induction speech in Canton. Doors of an NFL locker room are wide open. It's the ultimate meritocracy. If you help us win, you're going to get a chance to stay. That's what Shedeur needs to do.
All right, we do have more football as we go, but I'm getting mentor to him, and that we've all heard that clip of Brady saying, I don't care if you get one rep, then you make sure that you make it work, and that's the attitude that he is taking. The path to the starting job, Mike T., for Shedeur Sanders is an interesting one. Shefty pointed it out. The chances of him winning the job week one are extremely remote. But I feel like there's almost no question at some point this season he will get the chance to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And that should happen sooner than later, Green, for a number of reasons. First of all, he could be their quarterback in the future. I don't think there's any question he has much more ability than Dillon Gabriel, despite the fact that he was drafted 2 rounds later. And they made a great trade. I think Jacksonville likely could have a top 5, top 10 pick. That's going to be Cleveland's. Next year's draft is loaded with quarterbacks. So one of the things that Cleveland needs to accomplish this year is where are they with the quarterback position? And this isn't the sexiest thing, but Shedeur Sanders can earn the trust and respect of his teammates, of Tommy Reese, the offensive coordinator, Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, every day, knowing his assignments, comporting himself as a pro. By all accounts, that's happening. And when you do that, that's how you start gaining momentum. And we could be sitting here in early October, Greeny, talking about Shedeur Sanders, the starting quarterback of the Browns.
What is the path, Lewis? Give me the path for Shedeur Sanders starting today to being QB1.
Look, it's about maximizing every single opportunity, and that's what he is talking about. And I think Tom Brady is a great template to follow in terms of how he talked about the early beginnings of his career. Every rep does matter. I've been in those situations. Where you don't get many reps in practice and then you get thrust into a preseason game or a regular season game and you're expected to perform, which means you got to be on it. You got to be on the details. And for Kevin Stefanski, it's got to be also about rewarding a guy like Shedeur Sanders with more reps, provided that he takes advantage of the limited ones that he gets, meaning he's crisp and clean in and out of the huddle. He's moving the football when they're in move the football type situations, whether it's in practice or in preseason games. He's getting the ball in the end zone. He's not turning the football over. That's what makes coaches give you more reps with starting with the 3s, then maybe with the 2s, then you get some reps with the 1s. And I'll tell you what, look, we say the NFL's a meritocracy. In theory it is, but sometimes you don't always get the opportunity to really take advantage of that meritocracy. Shedeur will get the opportunity as he continues to progress and earn the trust of the coaching staff. And if he does that, look, Mike T's right. He's the most talented thrower on that roster. But that doesn't matter if you don't get the opportunity. And the only way you get the opportunity is you have to earn it. You have to earn more opportunities. And I think he has the right mindset right now in terms of how he's approaching that.
Well, just to tell you what he's trying to overcome, there's been one quarterback in the last 40 years, drafted in the 4th round or later, who started his team's opener. And that was Dak Prescott with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak lit it up, Tony Romo got hurt, and Dak Prescott had a path to start. When you are a mid-round draft pick, you need help to get into that starting job. Not only do you have to play well, carry yourself well, but then sometimes you need an injury. You need Joe Flacco to bang his shoulder. You need Kenny Pickett to bruise his knee. You need things like that that give you an opportunity to step out there. And then once you do step out there, you need to take advantage of it.
You know, Greeny, they should be parallel track in their quarterback situation. Let's say we're getting the Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco winner for opening day. And as we're looking here on the screen, those first 4 games, let's be realistic. Cincinnati's not going to be easy. At Baltimore, the Packers, and at Detroit, they could be sitting here 1-3. What are we waiting on? Like, let's go get Shedeur. And again, I'm being presumptive that
if they were 1-3, they don't think like that.
Right. And I'm also saying that I think Shedeur is going to beat out Dillon Gabriel, which to me, from a talent standpoint, that's not even close. But you're parallel tracking getting quarterbacks ready for 2 different groups. Opening day against Cincinnati, presumably that's Joe Flacco, and then the Shedeur Dillon Gabriel winner for October 1st.
I get that no one thinks that way, but we just said on our screen, it is the hardest strength of schedule to start a season that any team has. 1-3, I think, would be a pretty good start based on who they're playing, and then it only gets harder after that. The idea that they will not at some point this year find out what they have in both of these young kids, Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel, strikes me as very unlikely. So that's the situation in Cleveland.
Bóc xuống đây để tạo cái cánh hoa nhé mọi người. Đấy, mình móc mình tạo cánh hoa. tiếp. Đấy, móc lần lượt xuống như thế này là được. Này nó hơi bị giãn rồi. Đây này, cái đường này nó hơi giãn. Mình gài cái phần này xuống một chút. Phần này lót phần lên thừa. Đây mình sẽ móc vào như này. Cứ 2 lần len lên như thế này là tạo một cánh hoa nhé. Mọi người cũng có thể làm 3 lần len cũng được. 3 nhé. Mình móc 3 lần len tạo một cánh hoa. 3 nhìn cho nó dày dặn. 3 lần len lên này. 1, 2, 3. Rồi bây giờ mình sẽ móc một đường qua này. Đấy. Móc 5 mũi bính nữa nhá.